Well, certainly it was, to play that football team the way we did and have the opportunity to win at the end. I'm very proud of our football team. It was a great effort on everybody's part, and a most disappointing effort that we didn't win that football game because we had every opportunity to win the football game. We feel like we got worn down a little bit there in the second half, both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, and some drives we didn't capitalize on offensively that we should have. We had a chance to end it right there in regulation and didn't give us an opportunity to finish the drive. Couldn't get it done, and that was very disappointing because I thought we had controlled the line of scrimmage for the most part of the game, and I thought we could do it in that scenario, and we came up short and had to punt it back to them. And when we get into overtime, we didn't stick it in, and when you don't stick it in that first drive, you got to hold on tight. And hats off to them. They're a good football team. Coach Napier's got a well-coached group, and they play hard, and it was a really good ball game, and I'm very proud of our football team. I'm proud of the players. Because it's been a real roller coaster ride, to tell you the truth. Ups and downs with this camp. There's a lot of distractions, a lot of things that could have really made this team and just go south, to be honest with you. But we got some good leaders, and I was very pleased to see. Going into this contest, with it being an opening contest, you really don't know what to expect. But the fight and the grit of our players, the way they went out there and hustled and did things to fight a good football team, and like I said, have the opportunity to win it. I was proud of them. Disappointed with the loss, but this Georgia State Panther team has a chance to be a really, really good football team, and I think they showed that today.
All right, we'll take questions for Coach, please. A reminder to please keep your microphone muted unless you're asking a question.
Coach, it was a tough loss, but did a sense of normalcy kind of return to the sideline when that ball first kicked off?
Yeah, I think anytime you can get yourself on a football field and play the game and just let all the distractions just flow away from you, it was back to normal. I mean, blocking, tackling, making plays. The game of football is a fun game. It's a game that you can learn a lot from. And I'm just very, very thankful and fortunate that we had the opportunity to go out there and play this great game. And it was nice. It was nice to go out there and play.
Came out really strong. I mean, most of that first half was probably as good as I would think your team can play on both sides of the ball. Early 14-0 lead, and after that, was it? First of all, just your thoughts on that. Just coming out like that despite your up and down off season, like you alluded to, and then after that, do you think your defense maybe just kind of caught chasing a little bit, and Louisiana kind of found its rhythm? What happened after that?
Well, no, I just think at the start of the game, I mean, we knew we were going to hang in there. I mean, you had no question about that. If you watch them on film and watch their game against Iowa State, we felt like we were very capable, and we have every intention of coming out there and doing the things that we were doing, winning this football game. And if we go play them again here in the next 30 minutes, I'd still think that wouldn't change. We got a little worn down. I think on their offensive line, I think there were some bigger guys, and we were a smaller, quicker bunch. But I think they wore us down a little bit. We weren't making our right fits in the run game, and they were able to bust some long runs. And both sides of the ball, we just think we worn down a little bit, and it caught up to us.
Coach Anthony with being on the voice. Again, glad to see you in good health, knowing how the coronavirus pandemic, everything has affected people. The second to last series in the fourth quarter, it was all runs on all three plays. Was there anything in specific that you saw that you thought you could take advantage of? The reason you called those three plays, three running plays instead of the pass on third?
A lot of our plays have run pass options. Mm-hmm. So maybe the read was to hand it off and not to throw it. So that's the scenario we play with. I mean, we have an opportunity to throw in our run game almost every snap. And it's just what it is. It's there, and we have the choice to run it or throw it. Unfortunately, it was a handoff. And, we got that second down run, and then I kind of, I said, do you risk it right here and try to go for it, or not go for it, but put the ball in the air, or do you punt it away and you play defense? And, I very rarely second guess myself. I make a decision, and if you do that, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. But it turned out it got us to overtime. Our defense stopped them and gave our offense the opportunity to win the game. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So certainly we can look back on this and we can go over it 1,000 times, and maybe the read wasn't there to throw it when we should have ran it, or should have thrown it when we did run it. But it is what it is. We've got to be better. And maybe we've got to give ourselves the opportunity to maybe spread the field a little bit and throw it down there, because I think we could have taken advantage of that.
Coach, it's Marcel here. Your assessment of a Quad Brown first game of the season for your freshman quarterback, what do you see from him today?
Without just looking at the film and dissecting it, wasn't a lot of just mistakes out there by Quad. I thought he managed our team very, very well, took the opportunities when he had the run game in there, made positive yardage. There was a play there in overtime when we had the 3rd and 4 where he goes for the crossing route instead of hitting our tight end for the first down. And, that was a scenario we'd love to have back. But you know what? He's a redshirt freshman. That's something he's not going to do next week, that he's going to learn from his mistakes. And we're all going to learn from our mistakes as coaches and our struggles, and it only makes us better. But I'm like I said, and I told everybody in that locker room, I'm damn proud to be their football coach. So my hat's off to all of them. They laid it on the line and played as good as they could have played today. We would have liked to have made another play to get that win, but it didn't happen. But that's not to say next week we won't.
Obviously, this is not the result you wanted, but that's a good team. Beat a Big 12 school last week. They're ranked. Just to have the kind of game that you did, what does it tell you about where your guys are at? And what's your feelings about where they're at week 1? I mean, this is the first time you're seeing them. Just your thoughts.
Well, considering it took us so long to get to week 1, I'm very, very pleased with us. A lot of teams, when you practice that long and you have such a delay in playing your first game, you could have gotten real stale, and, their mindset could have wandered so many different places. But our team is focused. It's a tribute to our seniors, Trey McQueen, Quan Gilmore. I mean, guys like those, Dante Wilson, Hardrick Willis, our leaders, to keep this team focused on the task at hand and to go out there and play like we did today. I think we're going to have a good football team, a really good football team. We were a step short, a play short here and there today, but very proud of them.
Hey, Coach. This is Julian from the Signal. You guys immediately got out the rushing attack, and even without Trey Barnett there, you guys have proved you're still potent rushing the ball. How big is it that you guys are still able to, have the same great production out of your running back even after a great guy like Trey Barnett departs the program?
Well, I mean, Trey was a great back, but if you look at our statistics from a year ago, you look at every one of those backs, and they were 6'5", 6'4" yards a carry. So we feel like we've got capable backs, and we feel like they're good backs, and they can be really, really special. And it doesn't really matter who we have back there. I mean, you look at Destin Coates, I think he went 34 for 150 today, and probably should have had more than that. But, me being an offensive line coach in my past, I like running the football. I like controlling the line of scrimmage. I think as a good football teams do that. And I'm going to continue to try to do that as long as I'm the head football coach here.
Coach, Louisiana scored 21 unanswered somewhere in the middle of the game there, and it seemed like all the momentum was heading in their favor. But you guys responded, you scored, and then held them scoreless the rest of the way. Can you talk about making that adjustment and punching back after the wind that has been taken away from your sails?
Yeah, it's a boxing match, man. You can go and you can lose those 3 rounds right there, and you can jump back in there in the 4th round and knock somebody out. you got to weather the storm, and we all got to do that in our life and on that football field. Yeah, they hit us 3 gut punches right there to score 21 points, and you got to keep playing the game. The game doesn't end after possessions; it ends at the end when that clock runs to 0. And today we played overtime, so you got to keep pushing and keep fighting. Teams that do that, teams that can rally back after, like I said, those 3 gut punches, means you have a mature football team that love one another, that play for one another, and that doesn't give up. And we did that today.
Following up some of your earlier comments, I know you're not the type of coach who's going to be into moral victories at all. But what do you take out of today? You sort of alluded to a little bit that tells you guys are getting really close to where you want to be, however you define that, and that things are really moving forward.
I mean, you look at the effort of our football team, how we play the game, how we fought. I mean, like I said, they're a good football team. There's no, I mean, they're not the 19th ranked football team in the country for no reason. They didn't go out there and have a fluke to beat Iowa State. They beat them handily. So to go in there, we knew they were good, but we thought we could play with them. We thought we were going to win the football game. We go into every game. We prepare like that every single week. Doesn't matter who we're playing. If we go out and we align and assign and execute, we play with great effort. We play with intensity. Tells me we've got a football team that can go out and we can make some noise.
Coach, this is Anthony again. This may just me overthink as a media or as a fan, but of course, with the pandemic, it has affected fan seating and the way things are in the stadium. And going into overtime, I know usually the band plays on the other end of the stadium where the student section is versus playing on the other side where they're at now. Did that influence your decision which way you guys wanted to play or which way they possibly wanted to play going into overtime?
No, the actual win influenced my decision in case we had to attempt a long field goal. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to get the win kind of going with us if we did have to resort for a longer field goal. I didn't want to have to kick in a swirling wind. It was kind of a funny wind all day long, but I just felt the wind, and I was like, let's go play to the north.
The big plays might have been a story with the defense that led to the result, but were you encouraged by the third down defense and the times where there was a big stop that was needed and someone, usually an upperclassman, was stepping up and making a big play?
Very encouraged. I thought early on in the football game, we were right on key. There was a couple times in the game where he got out of the pocket and made some throws. I think there was a 4th down throw that he made, and we gave up a little contain right there and let him hit it, and then they took it down there and score. But, I was encouraged to see the play of our defense. I think some guys out there that I had seen making plays all camp were making plays, and that's a good thing. Things that you see in practice, they continue through the course of the game, and I saw that. So I was encouraged by watching that. We've got to shore some things up, of course, but just like everything you do, you learn from those things. You move on and you make adjustments to better ourselves, and we're going to do that in every phase of the game, offensively, defensively, and special teams.
Hey, Coach, this is Julian again from the Signal. And again, I know someone alluded to earlier that you're not in the moral victories. But what you guys showed today in how you played against the 19th ranked team in the country, how do you think that sets you up in terms of the future, in terms of how you guys will play future conference opponents?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you there at the end.
Okay, I'm sorry. With how you guys played today against the 19th ranked team in the country, do you feel a lot more confident about how this team will perform in conference play going further into the season?
Well, I mean, anytime you go and you play well against a good football team, you gain and losing you hurt, but you do gain confidence. We feel like we could have played against them and played well and beaten that football team today. They came out on top. Their coaching staff and their players made the plays to win. But I don't think you looked out on that football field and at any point in time said, hey, that team right there is overmatched or shouldn't be playing with that group, because that's not the case. And if that's the best in our conference right there, then we feel pretty doggone good about it.